The first thing I did was to look for reference images in Google. Then I put them in a program called PureRef, where you can see the images, zoom them, and even put them in screen overlay mode. I also looked for a low poly character which I started sculpting and modeling on top of. I started with the demon's crown of bones. I always work with modeling and not sculpting, since I started this profession as a traditional modeler. Then I started to model the teeth, although I wasn't sure what kind of teeth I would model as I had many different references. First, I thought about more human teeth, and then I decided to sharpen them and give them a more demonic look. I continued with the skull. The idea I had in mind was to give it a look of a crown of bones with pointed ends. Then I moved on to modeling and sculpting the body. Mostly what I did was modeling as I had the topology of the character already prepared. To give it the wrinkle of the eyes, I just modified the loops, sinking some and highlighting others. The result was quite attractive. Later, I started to create a bone armor that later I would change because the aspect reminded me a lot of Frieza's brother from Dragon Ball. I removed the bone armor and put bones inside the body instead. I continued modeling the teeth. It was one of the most complicated parts of the character because if you want the teeth to have a good result, it takes a lot of time to work, and I didn't want to invest so much time in this character. At first, the character was going to be a full body, but in the end I decided to only make a bust. Once I had the base already mounted, I started to give details to the flesh of the face and to sink some bones inside the body. I also took the UVs of the character because later I would pass it to Substance Painter to texturize it. When I had the character all ready and the UVs ready and all the modeling part finished, I started to sculpt over it. The sculpting was practically based on using texture projection on the mesh already prepared with the multi-resolution modifier of Blender. Once I had the character sculpted, I passed it to Substance Painter where I gave it color and made several tests between Substance Painter and Blender until I got the skin colors I was looking for. Then, I repeated the process with the bones of the character, trying to get the maximum detail that my computer would allow. And finally, this was the result. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe.